Some of the most disciplined people that I know are very religious. It's really fascinating, particularly fighters. Like a lot of the Islamic fighters out of Dagestan. They're some of the most dominant fighters and some of the most religious fighters, so devout. And because they don't have the distractions that a lot of the hedonists do.
Yeah.
You know, they're not party, like the guys at Khabib Nurmagomedov's camp or some of the most dominant fighters. All they care about is like family, religion, training. They don't chase girls, they don't drink. They're just training constantly, like insanely dedicated to their craft, and they're the most dominant.
So, before we begin, we'll start off by giving our praise on Granty Hour, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakurash, the one to the elders and apostles of the Millstone. Peace and salutations unto the elect. Today's lesson is going to be on pretty much the clip you seen in the beginning. Yesterday, I put a clip of Khabib Nurmagomedov, and today, right now, is another clip, but this one is a bit different. In the clip, the podcaster and the ring announcer Joe Rogan is talking about Khabib Nurmagomedov's discipline, and one thing that he mentions is that Khabib Nurmagomedov had no distractions, like the people, the other people around the fighting game, and pretty much, he said that he would just eat, sleep, train, and go to his religion or whatever, and that was it. But what what I wanted to catch on, what I wanted to him to catch on to was that he had no distractions, you know, which is, you know, something so we should do. Something we shouldn't have distractions. Now, of course, there's certain things, there has to be a balance, but, we also have to understand that this is our first priority. We should have done something to the Lord, for the Lord, before we did anything else. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, um, when let's say you wanted to do a lesson, but instead you played the new Madden game or the new the, the new Call of Duty game or whatever. I like playing video games. I like working out. I like playing basketball, being active. You know, I have a lady. But there has to be a balance. You have to get this done first before you can move on to any of that. And then not only is that balance, that's order. You shouldn't have any distraction when you're doing this. This should be your eye. This should be your only thing. If there is something from keeping you from doing this truth and doing your due diligence, cut it out, man. You know. Of course, if you're at work, you're not gonna, I quit this shit. Fuck you. Don't do that. But if there's anything like maybe maybe there's a certain hobby that you feel like it's taking over your time to be in this truth, cut it out, man. Let's say you're playing a little bit too much video games. If I catch myself playing too much, video games, hey man, I'm gonna get off the game and I'm gonna go do something for the Lord if I haven't already. But you always have to do something for the Lord. You always have to keep this, first priority and no distractions when you're doing this. Because this is a long walk, very long and dangerous, and it's a very long walk. We need to be able to have no distractions because Jay got really short attention spans. They'll see something, then they move on to something else. Then they'll do this, and they'll move on to that. Then they'll go here, over here. So they have a very short attention span. And give me 1 second. So I'll give about that, it's just you have to have no distractions in this. And if something is distracting you from doing this truth, they cut it out, man. Because ain't nothing more important than this truth. Like I said, there's some exceptions. Maybe you have your kid with you. You can't just fuck you up. You distracting me from the Lord. I can't have you. Like don't do that. But let's say you have a woman or something, and you need to do something for the Lord, but she want to spend time with you. Tell her, hey, put it off for a little bit. Do what you gotta do, and then do something for the Lord. Don't do it hastily. Don't be like, I gotta do. Don't make your camp 5 minutes long just because you wanted to get out there and then fucking go back and do your due diligence and sincerity, and then go back up whatever you want to do. Don't just rush it just because you want to do something else. Sincerely be able to do this truth and spend time with your lady or spend time with your children or play your video game or play basketball or go work out. Because there is balance in this thing. It's important to have balance. All right. It's important to have balance, but at the same time, you have to make sure you're doing what you got to do for the Lord. You don't want to just, you don't want to just not be doing enough for the Lord, because we can't ever do enough for the Lord. There's always more we can be doing. But this is Matthew 5:29. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not thy whole body should be cast into hell. So, if your right eye offend thee, pluck it out. Meaning, if something is, bothering you from doing this, take it out. You don't need that in your routine. Maybe you like going on long, brisk walks. Hey, man, pull out your phone, do a walk and talk. You can be doing your walk while preaching. You could always find something, when maybe you at work, some brothers like to take their break and do a lesson. So there's no easy way out. You have to get it done. There's no what's the word? Excuses. There's no excuses. I know a brother who got work, he got school, and he's doing this truth. How hard college is? You know how much work they probably give him? And that brother, he keep pushing, man. Constantly uploading videos, man. Never complaining. Why? Because he set this as the first priority. I'm sure he has his hobbies. He has his hobbies. He has stuff he likes to do. But why do you think he is able to do this? Because guess what? All the other brothers right there encouraging him. He has his whole setup. He's putting this first, and then he'll do his hobbies. So he won't let nothing distract him from this. Verse 30, and if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off, and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not thy whole body should be cast into hell. So you gotta use this as something is really, distracting you. You can't, it's always nudging you when you try to do the shit. Cut it out, man. If you can't even get a video out, if you can't even get 3 videos out a week, cut out with that distraction, man. Maybe you're choosing to work overtime at work. Maybe you're choosing, and now you can't do nothing. For man, you could, maybe work overtime 3 days or 2 days, and the other 3 do something for the Lord. On Saturdays, if you gotta go camp. Or so whenever you go camp throughout the week. But that's pretty much it. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.